Hey guys, and welcome to another edition of the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast. I am your host, Alex Whiteley, and what a great week it has been with the DARWIN Festival. I've done so much, I've met so many nice people, and I've learned a lot as well. And that's what this festival is all about. And I'll explain to you my highlights of the week and what else we've got to look forward to with the festival. But before that, I want to speak to you about some people I've been speaking to this week. I've been speaking to Claire Butcher, and Claire Butcher is a representative of a group from Castlefields, and Claire is part of a social enterprise called Lovelyland, and they primarily work with schools and support little ones to learn about food growing and get involved with community events and to get people together. Very much what I stand for. The people of Castlefields are very proud of their part of Shrewsbury, and it's people like Claire that bring people together. So it's really great. They are planning to do a yarn bombing. Very similar to what happened with the Bellevue Arts Festival. I want to meet up with Claire, and there is an event going on the 21st of February, which I'm going to probably pop to. I really want to go to. And they will explain more. And I'm going to create maybe a little advert to get people involved for the show. The yarn bombing is quite an ambitious yarn bombing project. I got to say, I'm not very versed on yarn bombings. I saw the beautiful things they did to the footbridge in Colham, the part of the Bellevue Arts Festival. But they want to yarn bomb the Castle Walk Bridge. Apparently, people used to lock padlocks on there with their names and loved ones. Like they do in Paris. They do it all over the place. These locks got removed, and as a celebration of what these guys do at Lovelyland, they were going to do something that was a bit more friendly and to represent what they do, part of the community. So they're going to do a yarn bomb of this footbridge, and they're encouraging people to get involved. They've got a Facebook group. And the Facebook group is called Castlefields Yarn Bombing Crew. So have a look at that on Facebook. Get involved. If you like to crochet, if you like to make things with yarn, you would definitely enjoy this. If you have got lots of spare yarn about and you would like to help and donate some towards this great motivator, please get in touch with them as well. I can't do things like that. I'm not very good at crochet, I got a voice. I got to use my voice. Okay, go guys, you can do this. I'll give them some moral support. But yeah, it's a great little event, and it'll make the bridge look pretty for a short while. And it's something that's great because it's not graffiti, it's not litter. It's something that can be picked up and moved away after it's done its thing. So I'm all for that. Yarn bombing is quite cool. I've seen some pictures. They put a picture up on the group actually today of a yarn bombing experiment thing in Chile, and it looked fantastic. It's just this market square full of nice pieces that people have made, and they made like a mosaic of square yarn crocheted tiles. It looks fantastic. So anyway, check that out. And now let's get on to what I've been asked to do. Well, what I want to do, and that's to talk about the DARWIN Festival. It has been a fantastic week. I've really enjoyed it. I've met so many amazing people, and I've learned so much, and I'm really grateful to be part of such a great project. It started off in the week with the on Friday the 8th, which was the Young Thinkers Award at UCS that was run by Morris & Co. Very insightful event. I got to witness some great young minds take part in a mission that really illustrated the kind of brilliance that young people have today, and it really assured me that things aren't as bad as we think they are, guys. We're part of the Instagram, YouTube, podcast generation, and I constantly think that we've got a new generation of kids that just pout in front of cameras, and that is not the case. We've got some great people coming on to look after the planet after we're done with it, and that's what that did for me. Then I went to the climate change talk with Professor Jeffrey Livermore, which is brilliant. I'd never been to a lecture like that before. I mean, when I was in school, maybe. I'm not an intellectual, but I really enjoyed it. That you learned so many things. And then I went to like the Footsteps of Giants by Mysteries. I went to the Sidebar event with Professor Carver. I went to the amazing tour that John King did for us, the Darwin Trail. That was brilliant. And then I had this, it was great. I was really looking forward to like the end of the week, getting to a few things. But we had like a bit of a family flu crisis, I could call it. My wife would come home from work, put some Vicks in a bowl with some hot water and a towel over her head, and she was struggling so bad, bless her. And then my little boy, he's had a really bad cough too. He's been up and waking us up at 3:00 in the morning, coughing like he's been smoking 40 cigarettes. It's really, really bad. So I've been kind of, looking after these guys and not being able to get out. I was supposed to go to the second sidebar, which is on Thursday the 14th, called Falling in Love with Your Biome. But I was with Professor Ian Wilson, and I couldn't go, man. I couldn't go, but I had to do that, my family duty, and look after people. So I felt really bad. I spoke to Tim Dawes the day after, though. I emailed him, how did it go? And he said it was a great success. So this goes to prove, like, the first sidebar, they didn't have as many people as they wanted to go to it, but the next night was brilliant, apparently. There were loads of people there. So it goes to show you got to try these things. You got to try them. It doesn't matter about the first turnout. It matters about the second and the third. Same with my podcast. My podcast started off with, 30 downloads a week, and now we're getting 30 a day, and it's growing, and that's why you got to try these things and get out there and do it. And I'm grateful for you guys for that. So in the week, I got a really great opportunity to get out with. First of all, I want to say thank you to my friend Shane. You're very likely to meet Shane on the show. He does podcast with me. He's podcasted with me for a while. I've taught him my ways. He's my young Padawan, and I explained to him that we were going to go to the evolution of alcohol production at the Alb on Friday, and I'd like him to come, because the idea was for us to record a podcast after the event or during the event if it was at all possible. So Shane was he's got a really busy job. He drives like hours to London, has to do his job in London, and then drive back. So the night before, he'd been up since 1:30. He'd driven to London, done his thing, and come back. And I said to him, it's 6:30. You want to come to the pub with me? And he literally got in from London, showered, changed, didn't even eat tea, and walked all the way from Rybrook to town. And by the time he got to the Alb, his eyes were bright red, his lips were blue. I'm here. And I was like, oh, bless you. All this just to come out for a pint with Al. And it was a great event. We sat down, and James did a great job with this lecture, by the way. It was about 5 people there, about the 20 that was expected to come. So it was a bit awkward for him, but he did a fantastic job, and I learned so much. We laughed. He's a great showman. He's good at talking and getting with the crowd, and really explaining things. You guys should be a professor, not. He taught us so much. He started off with the importance of gin. I've got the thing recorded, so he said I can release that, so I might do that on a separate episode. But to summarise, he talked to us about the importance of gin. Gin at the moment is like crazy. Like, you see it everywhere. There's so many different crazy flavours of gin. There's like a gin revolution at the moment. Every time I go to my friend Sarah's, she's like, gin! And she pushes a gin in my face. Do you want to try gin? And, I'm just kind of like, gin's not my drink, But it is everywhere. And apparently that was from when, it's not from when, but the reason why gin is big in this country is because William Orange came over from Holland, and he made production of gin in the UK a legal thing. So you could legally just create gin in your house. And so rather than go to the pub and spend money at the pub, people just make their own alcohol. And it apparently caused chaos in the UK. There was all sorts of incidences of propaganda where, they'd make posters to show you a life with beer and a life with gin, and the poster with gin was really dark and horrible, and people were struggling and doing horrible things. So because of that propaganda, people were like, I think we'll drink beer instead, So even though gin's great, it's caused problems in the UK for a long time. And there was a guy there called Dr. Richard Gulliver. I spoke to him for hours after this thing. You know, he's a really good guy. I'm going to get him on the show because he's a very clever guy. He's a botanist, and he is the botanist of the Botanist Gin, which is a mouthful. The Botanist Gin is a famous gin, not so much in the UK, but around the world. This is what Richard was saying to me. Around the world, it's a very big gin. People like that, and he's their botanist, and it's all from Shrewsbury, all local areas and things. That's what I guess. I'm going to get him on the show to explain a bit more. But after the gin talk, we started talking about craft beer. If you have eyes in your head and you go to a supermarket now and again, you will have seen that there's a copious amounts of craft beers or IPAs that are cropping up everywhere. Always these smaller, funky-looking cans, and it's something that I'm enjoying, to be honest. On another show I used to do a thing called Cheer for the Beer, and I'd buy a craft beer and I'd drink it on the show and talk about how good it is, you know, or how bad it is in some circumstances. So what James did is he explained about this company called Brewdog, who I'd mistaken for an American company, I've got to say, but they're not. They're a couple of Scottish guys that started making craft beer out of their garage. Then Tesco turned around to them and said, we need you to mass produce this, whatever you're making, for all of our stores across the country. And they couldn't do it without getting a loan. They'd already been in debt. And they craftily managed to get a £150,000 business loan. And from that £150,000 loan, they are now worth £32 million. I think a year. You know, they sell their Brewdog products to most supermarkets now, and you can see their products everywhere. And that's craft beer, man. And there's a lady in the audience, in the group, should I say, you may hear her on the recording. She said it's okay if I share it, but she asked the question, what is the difference? When does a craft beer stop becoming a craft beer? What is the difference between a craft beer and a mass-produced monster, you know, like a Heineken or, you know, the big companies? And the way I thought about it is if you imagine an independent movie, say Clerks, for example. Kev Smith made Clerks. He made it by himself. He then sold it to Miramax. He then the movie went on to make millions. It doesn't matter how many millions that original movie makes. It was still independently made. You can use that metaphor, I suppose, with craft beer. These two guys made that product by themselves in a garage, regardless of who was about at the time. They made that product by themselves. So I guess that what explains craft beer, and it's huge at the moment. You know, I did an experiment the other day. James poured out loads of IPAs in glasses. He let us all try them, and he put them on the bar. And as an experiment, I thought I would take a picture of these beers, throw it on Instagram, and just hashtag craft beer, right? And there were beer companies from all around the world starting to like this Instagram because it's huge, it's massive, and it's a trend at the moment. And some of the beers are fantastic, you know. They're making beers that are passion fruit flavour. They're making them out of different things, and they taste differently. There was one company that you'll hear I'm going to release it as a separate thing, like I said, on James's talk. There was a company that don't even write what is in the can. They just put their brand on it. They literally just put their brand on the can, and people know it's that good, word of mouth, and they sell them, bam, quick. You got to be quick to grab those beers because they're gone. They're that popular. So yeah, we got to try out these different craft beers, which was brilliant. Me and Shane were like, yeah, free beer. You know, we bought this. I mean, this is the example of the crazy beers that you can get. I've forgotten the name of it now. And yes, we were drinking this beer called Pump Up the Jam. And it's made by Tiny Rebel Brewing. And it's donut flavored IPA, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm fat! I could enjoy this." And you see the irony. It was donut flavored IPA, and it was pretty good. I had about 3 pints of this during the lecture. It was only an hour, and I really enjoyed it. So this is the amazing kind of creativity that's coming out of these craft beers. So we got to try these IPAs as well as the beer we were drinking, and you know what? This night was a great excuse to go and have a good night with my friend, and this festival can bring. You can go to a sidebar, you can go to an exhibition of some sorts, and you can go out and meet people. And in fact, that night I was outside the Alb. The guy that was working on the door was my good friend Stuart, and I worked with him years ago in my security years, we hadn't seen each other properly 4 years, and we sat and we chatted and we caught up, and that was because of this event. I got out there, I sat for this amazing lecture, and then I got to have a few pints with my mate Shane and meet an old friend Stuart as well. It was a great night. So there were so many events that I couldn't get to for one way or another, and there really was a lot on, and I feel bad. I can't spread myself out throughout the whole of Shrewsbury for a whole week. It's very difficult to do. But what I can say is the events that I've been to, I've really enjoyed. And I wanted to congratulate everyone that has put an event on so far. It's been a really high quality festival, and I've enjoyed everything that you guys have done. The events that I didn't go to, like the Sidebar on Thursday, I heard it was a great success. And there was the Illuminating Ideas, the lantern building workshop at the Flax Mill. I'm intrigued as to what went on there. So even though it's like the other half of it, there is a follow-on to that on the 20th of February, which is a Wednesday, and it's another lantern building workshop. But that's at the Hive this time. I'm going to pop there and have a look at that and see what's been going on there. So yeah, if I didn't get to your event, I do apologise. There is so much to come as well. We've got a week left of this festival, and there's great things to get to. I'm going to list them now so that you guys can kind of get to it. I mean, get a pen and a piece of paper ready, because on Monday, on the Shrewsbury Cathedral at 7 p.m, you've got a talk on Darwin, the Invisible Gardener. Perspectives on Science and Faith. You may remember on my last show, I was talking about the tour we did with John King, and the perspectives on things. You don't know the full story until you get all the facts. And I guess it's about religion. Can religion and science exist alongside each other? Does one phase out the other? It's a great topic to talk about. And I'm definitely going to be going to that. It's very interesting. So yeah, Darwin and the Invisible Gardener, Perspectives on Science and Faith at Shrewsbury Cathedral at 7 p.m. Tuesday is a busy day, okay? At 8 a.m. at UCS, you've got a business breakfast, the evolution of digital solutions. Then later on again at the UCS, you've got Active Living Research Centre, which is at 6:30. And then I'm going to get to the Hive definitely at 10:30 a.m. for Musitech. I didn't go to the Hive for Buzzy Beats because my little boy was poorly. So I'm definitely going to make an effort to get to this one. It's really interesting me. And so if you see a strange guy at the back there, it's me. I might be wearing my baseball cap. But yeah, I'm there on press purposes and enjoying the event. So on Wednesday, you've got a Darwin-themed wild play at Shropshire Wildlife Trust. So take your youngsters to that. I'm sure they'll have a great time there. It's at the Shropshire Wildlife Trust at 10:30 a.m. Also on Wednesday, you've got the second half, like I said, to the Illuminating Ideas at the which is a lantern building workshop, also at the Hive. So much going on there. Conflict in ideas, but then again, you've got choice. You've got youngsters that aren't quite in school yet, and want to take them out to do things. There's a lantern building workshop, or there is a wild theme play you can go to. Thursday, you've got Evolving Working Lives, a focus on working through menopause, which is at University Centre Shrewsbury. Maybe interesting for you to go to. Also on Thursday, you've got the Centre for Research into Environmental Science and Technology, 1 year from the launch, also at the university at 6 p.m. Oh, on Friday, you've got a talk at the Unitarian Church, and I really want to get to this. It's from Darwin's great-great-great-granddaughter, and she's doing a talk on the lessons from Colombia, strategies for an era of post-truth politics. I really want to get to that. There's a lot that's been going on in Colombia at the moment with separatist factions of the government. The FARC that you may have heard about for the last couple of few decades, causing trouble there in Colombia. But it's all come to an end. There's been a peace treaty, and what can we learn from this? How can we push forward? I want to be there. That's at the Unitarian Church at 6:30 on Saturday, the 23rd to Sunday the 24th. You've got storytelling workshops. Learn how to be a storyteller better. I guess this is Mysteries again. These guys are fantastic. If you couldn't get to the In the Footsteps of Giants that Mysteries did, try and get to this. It's brilliant. These guys are fantastic. Storytelling is an art. It really is an art. Podcasting. Just to talk like this, in a generalized way, I have to take notes. I have to do research. I have to go to events and interview people to get a better idea. Storytelling, you're on the spot without a book, and you've got to tell a story from point A to point B. All you've got are the things around you, and you do tell the same story, but it often takes different paths, and every story is different. And when you've got people staring at you, you've got to keep the story moving without umming and ahhing and making it. You got to make it sound as interesting as possible. It's quite daunting, and these guys are brilliant at it. If you can do that, I'm pretty sure you can do anything. So make sure you check that out. That is Saturday 23rd to Sunday the 24th. Go into original shrewsbury.co.uk for more details on that, I guess. And then on Sunday, you get the chance to take your lanterns that you've built over at the Flax Mill at the Hive, because there is an Illuminating Ideas Lantern Lit Walk at Attingham Park at 6:30 p.m. The lanterns that you've put lots of care and time into, you get to take them for a walk around. Let people see what you have created. So there's still lots to go, lots to come in this festival. And even if it's not for you, there is something around the corner that is, I guarantee. It's a great way to get out there and support your town. So I hope you've enjoyed this little snippet of a show, my little highlights of the week, what I got up to Friday, and what's coming on next week for the festival. There is going to be more little shows like this coming at you this week from me, because I don't do this talking by myself thing brilliantly. It's not one of the things that I'm good at. I do a wicked interview. I'm great at interviewing people. Fans of the show may realise that. But this I'm sitting here at the moment, staring at a clock and a wall, and it's very odd for me. But I enjoy doing it. This is part of the process. I'm trying to learn how to do this. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it hasn't been as boring as it sounds in my head when I'm talking about it. But there's lots to come. The next show I'm going to bring you is I'm going to go tomorrow to the Darwin and the Invisible Gardener talk, and I'll hopefully bring you something about that on Tuesday. So yeah, guys, make sure you give this show a like and a share and a subscribe. I really do appreciate all of the support the show is getting at the moment, and you guys are thankful for that. I'm so grateful. So give this a like and share, subscribe. So not everybody can get out to these events, so it'd be great to hear from me, I guess, what is going on in your town. This is what this is. It's a verbal magazine for Shrewsbury. Thank you very much. If you've got anything to add, make sure you find us on social media. At the Shrewsbury Biscuit Podcast on Facebook. We've got a group there. On the Instagram, same, at Shrewsbury Biscuit Podcast. And you can email me, which is shrewsburybiscuitpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, guys. I hope you have a fantastic rest of the weekend, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Peace out, guys.